The night the storm hit, the town thought it had claimed another soul. Lightning tore through the sky, and the wind howled like it was angry at the world. When the roof of the old Simmons factory collapsed, no one expected to see anyone alive inside, but she was. They found Evelyn Parker soaked, bleeding, and clutching a box of papers like it was the only thing keeping her breathing. The firefighters told her to drop it, but she didn't. She just whispered, "This is all I have left." People in town called her crazy. She'd been working alone in that abandoned factory for months, trying to restore what used to be her father's small furniture business, a business that had gone bankrupt after his death. Most folks had moved on, but Evelyn, she couldn't. She said rebuilding it wasn't about the money. It was about proving she could rise where everyone else fell. When the storm hit, she was inside finishing a shelf her dad once designed. She saw the first sparks from a broken wire. She could have run, but instead she stayed. She tried to save what she'd rebuilt. By the time rescue came, everything was gone. The building, her tools, the furniture, all turned to ashes. When the news spread, people pitied her. Some said she'd finally broken. Others said she'd lost too much to stand again. But the next morning, as the smoke still lingered, Evelyn showed up at the ruins with a broom in her hand. Someone asked what she was doing. She said, "Cleaning up what's left so I can start again." And just like that, a legend began. Days turned into weeks, and Evelyn kept showing up. No roof, no walls, just open sky and determination. She worked with burned wood, salvaged metal, and borrowed tools. When people drove by, they slowed down, watching this woman rebuilding in the ashes like she'd lost her mind. But Evelyn didn't care who watched. She worked through the cold mornings and long nights, her hands cracked, her clothes covered in soot. When someone asked her what kept her going, she said, "Because quitting would mean the fire won twice." Word spread through the town, and slowly people began showing up to help. A retired carpenter dropped off some lumber. A teenage boy brought his father's hammer. Even the mayor came one afternoon and said, "You're making us believe again." By spring, something beautiful had taken shape. It wasn't just a workshop anymore. It was a symbol, a reminder that sometimes you have to lose everything to find what really matters. Evelyn named it Phoenix Woodworks, after the bird that rises from its ashes. On opening day, hundreds of people came. Evelyn stood on the steps, sunlight catching the streaks of gray in her hair. Her hands were scarred, her voice soft but steady. She said, "I used to think strength meant never breaking, but maybe real strength is what you find after you do." The crowd went silent, not because of what she said, but because of what she'd done. The storm had taken her father's dream. The fire had taken her home. But nothing, not even the world itself, could take her will to rebuild. And from that day on, when people in town felt lost or beaten down, they'd drive past Phoenix Woodworks, see the woman hammering away inside. And remember, Evelyn Parker didn't just survive the fire. She walked back into it